man. Is that from a current client or a lead?
Um, Both the annuity and this other, they're both from a current client and from a current client who's a referral.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking at other policy, other products for.
Cool. Love it, man.
And I know everybody on the call, y'all may or may not have heard Fitz talking about the a couple of new lead vendors that he was exploring. And I just want to put that out there because I think, and Megan and Jonathan, maybe y'all can actually help me out a little bit on this. There's one that's internet based, but it's exclusive for a period of time, and it's only going to be there at most 90 days on their second tier system. And then also some direct mail, custom direct mail services that are going on. Because I think if we all look back to when we got started, that was a big key for how we got started. Was we had leads that we believed in or were fired up about. And I'm getting a little bit fired up about them. I don't know about Megan and Jonathan, but I think those are pretty much available to us now. Am I right?
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, the one that's internet based has, instead of it just being like a generalized form that the client fills out, it takes them, so when they click that they're interested in getting information, it actually takes them from one site to another one, and they go through like 11 different questions. So they know exactly what they're doing, right? It's not like a funnel. If that makes sense. So I'm actually going to work some this week. I just got the guy's information. I'm still getting direct mail leads and working my current clients because I have really high personal production numbers and I want to help our team. And so I feel like a responsibility to work everything if I'm going to help you, right? So that's what I'm doing. But yeah, I mean, that's that one. And then the direct mail one, basically, it's pretty much the same as what we're getting from corporate. It's just, it has your name on it. So basically you drop $500 to the lady, her name's Candy Steele, I believe.
Cindy.
And what
Cindy Steele.
Cindy, Cindy Steele. And I've got her number if you want to check it out. But basically you front $500 and then she basically mails out however many for you. I mean, you can talk to her and figure out how much you want to mail out, and it's got your name on it. So the people who fill the letter out, actually, when you call them, they've already seen your name on there, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, I mean, it's out there. I did have some I wanted to go over with y'all because I mean, everyone on the call has been here for a little bit or has, a current book of business. So something I've had a lot of success with my current clients. And I know Kate and Jeff, you mentioned you wrote business on them, but here's something that'll actually help you guys write more. And you may be already doing it, but I'm actually going back to my current book of business and I'm looking in the files to see if I filled out a green sheet. And almost none of them I did. And if I did, I didn't save it in the in-force application in Dropbox, right? So I'm just reaching out to all my clients month by month that I wrote last year or however many years ago, whatever. And I'm just saying, hey, you're due for an annual review. I'm just initially just catching up with them. If I hadn't talked to them in several years, like 3 or 4 years, I'm just saying, hey, for one, I apologize for not reaching out. I'm still in the business. I'm doing well. Life's been crazy, but I just want to let you know I'm here, for one. And then two, like, just kind of remind you what we set up. And what I'm telling them is, hey, when I originally helped you with this, it was a funeral plan or mortgage protection. I'm like, I missed quite a bit of stuff in your file that I should have got from you in the beginning. So I want to go ahead and get that updated with you. Is that cool? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, cool. So I just go through the green sheet. And I'm finding a lot of opportunities that way. I just wrote a $95,000 annuity on Saturday. From that, I'm going back to write another family member I don't, it could be the same amount. I don't know how much it's for, but they want to do the same thing. I'm writing critical advantage plans. So just by asking those questions and saying, look, like we have the best companies, we have a wealth management team and we do supplemental products. Like my only job is to help you if it makes sense, but I just want to make sure I have your full file so we're not missing something. And it's working. Like they've already trusted you, right? You have enough information to be them. So why would we not be calling them? So I just want to encourage you, like especially Jeff and Katie, because y'all are actively turning in business. There's a lot of business still in your book of business, I promise. And that's what's been helping me the most is that green sheet question. Just, I don't tell them what it is. I'm just like, I just need to finish your file. Like I missed a lot of stuff I should have asked you. If there is something else that can benefit you, I can't really legally recommend anything unless I know exactly where you're at anyways. That's a good statement because it is true. If you actually read your license paperwork. So I hope that helps. That's really all kind of what I want to talk about. Also the leads, and then kind of what y'all's goals are. Like, I don't know. I know there's a lot going on. I know conference, Jeff and Katie, you were there, but I see Juanita just jumped on. She was there as well. So like, if y'all want to speak up, I don't know what you got out of it. I know every time that I go, I'm in a different place in the business. So I do always get something because I hear something differently. I get something every time. Because I'm in a different spot in the business. And when Katie spoke, she said 1 hour in planning lets you gain an hour in productivity or something like that. And that was like, man, that was a big deal to me because like I'm a big fan of planning, but like when she said that, I was like, golly, how valuable is that? Like I planned 1 hour, but I gained one in productivity. So yeah, feel free, Jeff, if you want to start. Like, I don't know what you got out of it. I know you've been to several. Just something you're excited about, man. Like, because I really want to help y'all double your income this year, if you want to.
I was writing down what you just said.
So,
that was a good couple good lines. So long. Sorry it's been so long. I missed some of your data on my first visit. I was trying to update your file. Is that cool?
yeah, I mean,
great way to jump into it. You're not trying to sell them anything, and then
right.
get green sheet info. But I like this. In order to legally to make recommendations to you, this is stuff I need to know. Which is another great way to. It's overcoming objections.
Right.
Before they come up, which is what we try to do. So I try to write those down. And
yeah, and I mean, we're all in the business full time. Most of us on this call, right? So it's like, if I am this is my full time job, and I'm gonna service you. Like, if I'm gonna recommend something, this is something I need to know. But if you're in the best spot you can be, then that's great, right?
oh yeah,
But I at least need to know because I can't, I mean? I can't help you. So yeah, and people appreciate it. I think sometimes we're scared because we think they might think something about it, but it's like everybody I've talked to appreciates it, like.
Yep, they do.
So,
I think because of the past couple of years, it's to me, just physically being around, heck, even you guys, but the whole team, getting to see them personally, getting to talk, laugh, have a drink, chit chat. That's where I tend to get a lot. We were late getting there significantly, and we left early because of the weather. So I
Right.
wasn't at the conference as much, but having fun with your people that you work with that you don't get to see in person. I mean, look, for the first 4 years, I think for sure of the Alliance, we would go to North Carolina 4 times a year, 3 to 4, do 1 or 2
Yeah.
instant thunders, summer, winter, um, plus trip. And so you're getting to see folks on a regular basis. And I miss that,
Mhm.
and I miss the times always after. Yeah, it's great to always learn and hear stuff, but that's the part that makes this more fun, and just going to work for Walmart or whoever. Um, even being in and only being a business owner, we usually, and at least the one that I was in, we were friends with our competitors and stuff, but we didn't really want to help each other because that would probably be hurting us.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, it's definitely not a abundance mentality, which for all of us, we really can help each other. It's like, man, this market is so big, you're there, I'm here,
Mhm.
whatever. I mean,
Yeah, man. I mean, just
it
just the
doesn't.
amount.
And you live
Yeah.
in the same part of town. It's like that. I realized a long time ago, I cannot, my problem is not, the other people doing it. It's me. Yeah, there's more
Right.
people in a big city, but there's so many people that want it.
Yeah.
Just a matter
And
of
just the opportunity that's in our book of business, just yours alone, that's untapped is nuts. And it's fact based. I can show you the data to back it up. you know, um, it's just crazy. So a lot of people just don't know what's available, right?
yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's good, man. It was good to see you. I'm glad you came. Yeah, and I'm excited, man. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity to build a team, write as much insurance as you want. I mean, people need the help, like,
Yeah,
and we can't do it by ourselves, right?
absolutely.
And Brian Adams said something that I'm a pretty good like data person. Like, I feel like I can back up what I say almost all the time. So because I read a lot about data, but when Brian told me about the numbers, I was blown away. Like when he said there's 330 million people in America. We're going to do 10 million policies this year as Integrity as a whole, right? And we're just one of 50 companies that they own, right? If not more. You take away kids and children, let's say that's 200 million, right? Fair. Integrity is going to do 10 million policies. That's only 5% of the population. That blew me away, man.
I was impressed at how big a number that is that they do.
No, it is very big. I mean, it just goes to show you, like, there's 95% of the market that we can help, not including our current book of business, right? I mean, think about just getting one policy out of your current book of business on each client, right?
Right.
Which the need is probably there, like just for me, I submitted 12,000 before we left for SummerSlam, and I'm at like 15,000 or Winter Blast. I wish it was SummerSlam. It's so cold. I'm at 15,000 this week, and I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying, like, I'm only one person, right? And I can only connect with so many people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's out there, man. It's out there. So it's pretty crazy. We just have to do the work part, like the process. So that's what I came out very excited about. Like, we already have quality people that are very talented. We just have to do the processes to find the business, right? And then know who to lean on when we do find it. So like specifically with the green sheet, instead of us feeling like we have to know everything, like we can just tell people we have a wealth management team, and if we can do better for you, we will. Would you like to have a conversation? Instead of going into detail, right? Because that's how you're going to find the business, is just keeping it simple, and then booking a time with Chris or Gina and just having that data, right, Jeff? I mean, if you don't have the information, it's hard to know how to help somebody. So,
Absolutely.
and that's something I'm changing on new leads as well. I'm making it a priority to fill the green sheet up when I'm there.
Hey, Jonathan, have you tried the $40 exclusive mailed leads through
I haven't heard of those.
Integrity?
I have not.
Okay, I think they were talking about them. Fitz was talking about them. Maybe it was when we were having drinks or something afterwards, but
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of lead resources. I mean, I'm specifically the one that's internet based, that's going to be exclusive for like 90 days. It's different than any internet lead we've ever worked, because it takes them to a separate website to answer 11 questions. It's never done that before. Right. So that one, if you're interested in that one, get with me or Megan or Mike or Michelle. We can set you up with the guy to talk about how many you want to get. Right.
But
again, I'm just going to keep reiterating the current book of business. I mean, I still think you should take leads for sure. I still am. But there's a lot of opportunity in our current client book of business. I'm telling you, like, we already have a relationship with them. We're not trying to sell anything. We're just trying to complete their file and then figure out if there is a need, right? I mean, someone's going to call them and talk to them about insurance at some point. Why would it not be you?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's just the reality of the world we live in. I
was calling through current clients this weekend, and I had one that, wrote a real big policy with me 5 years ago, and she just, I'm pretty sure she got an IUL with an agent who's a friend. So I got to go see if I can do anything better. But it's like, man, that's my lady.
Yeah, exactly.
But so, I hadn't talked to her in long enough time that.
Right. Exactly. So, and maybe we can do like a training too. Maybe next week on like some text messages that we send out to current clients too. So that way you guys can have like a working document to work from. Is that cool with y'all?
Absolutely. I think that's a good idea. I'd love it.
So everyone's clear and not wondering, and then you can kind of refine it for yourself. So we'll plan to do that next week or this week. If you want to call us, I can send it to you.
Yeah, well, I definitely want to find out about the leads, and I think that's a great topic because there's not nearly as much training on that.
On like
working current clients.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think there is.
And we're all seasoned agents and are all pretty good at working current clients. So that is something that we can train on.
Yeah.
It probably, just going forward, it probably would be a separate call, or we would need to just do videos maybe of what we're doing. Because really this call is intended, and maybe we need to redefine it, but it's intended for just to have kind of a group huddle and for new agents to come on and as well. So I did, just FYI, as it's getting closer to 8, I did go ahead and cancel the call with Jeff tonight, just because we don't have any new people on. And so we'll redefine, that. But if next week we show up and it's all seasoned agents again, then for sure we can go over current client stuff. Just kind of want to kind of cater to who we're speaking with,
Yeah.
but
Of course. I mean, that's my goal, babe, is who's on here, what do they need, right?
Yeah.
And catering it that way. That's why I brought it up. So
for sure.
if it was a ton of new people on your team, I wouldn't be talking about that.
Yeah.
To be clear.
Agreed.
Not gonna
But next
confuse your people.
Next week, we want to,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm saying that we don't want to confuse people. All of you guys are seasoned agents and know what you're doing. We just, oh, Mom, turn yours off. Sorry, I just picked up.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, you can say hi.
Hi, apparently.
Yeah, I know. You can say hi to everybody right here.
You don't have to go on video if you don't, but you look great.
But yeah,
Hello,
I just
Michelle.
Hello, Sharon. Nice to see your face.
Hello.
I just left the hospital. Yeah, I just left the hospital.
just picked her up. But yeah, I just wanted to say that real quick, because I want all of y'all to feel that you can bring your new people to this call. It's really kind of, and then the Jeff Bright call is really for newer agents as well, and for seasoned agents, for all of us to stay accountable. But we really do, our heart and our desire is to really help build this agency and to show people that there's a better way out there to serve people and to make money. It's truly our heart. We've gotten really good at the business because we all have realized how much cash flow this can bring in for just going out there and selling. But the overall mission that we have is to give people an opportunity to come in and to do what we do. That's the overall goal. And I just wanted y'all to know, feel welcome and free to invite people to this call, to invite your agents onto this call. We do not want to confuse people. We just want to provide opportunity to be there to help serve. Hope I didn't confuse anybody. But I just wanted to say that because I had canceled the call with Jeff tonight about it. So.
Yeah, 100% agree. Juanita, I don't know how much you heard from earlier, but is that, from what I did say, is that like helpful for you, or is there anything that you feel like you are needing specifically from the team?
Well, that's like 1,000% of what I was getting ready to like text you and say, "Hey, Jonathan, can you help me with reviews for new clients with my customer base?" Because that was something that I was really kind of wanting to do, and I actually have one that's coming up for someone who's only been a live customer for just a month or so. And she's already needing other products. She's easy, but there's others that have been on my books, that need a little attention. And so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, let's schedule a time. That's cool, and I can just run through my whole process with you.
Okay.
And let me see. Maybe not tonight. What does your schedule look like later, like tomorrow?
Tomorrow after 11, I'm free.
Okay.
So
after the sales call.
Hey, Jonathan, Megan just asked me to ask you if it works for people, if they want to stay on, that y'all could do it tonight. I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah.
That was Megan.
Yeah. That's great.
Does that work for y'all?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, definitely in lieu of, the Jeff Bright call, that'd be great.
Okay, cool. Let's do it. I'm always like very quick to do like a one-on-one meeting, because like that's what made me great at the business. So I apologize if I'm like trigger happy on that. That's just that's the only, I mean, and I truly believe that's what's going to really help all of us. Like when you have one-on-one conversations about stuff with someone that's where you're trying to get to multiple times over and over, like there's nothing else you're going to get but success. So that's why I'm so trigger happy that way. Because I just did that for so many years and still do it. Like I still call and talk to somebody. So anyways, so basically, so let's just start at the front end. So with the current clients, and we're going to kind of refine this. So I've been talking with Megan, brainstorming about figuring out if you want to get involved in scheduling your current client appointments. That's not something we have made a decision on yet, like assisting, but it is a conversation. Okay. So, but for right now, the text that we send, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the chat. Would that be, I guess I can put it on the chat. I don't know if you can copy and paste it. Let's see. Feel free to speak up, Megan, if you disagree with what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think they can copy and paste it from there. And that's the same text we've been using, I don't know, for a couple of years since the pandemic happened. I'm not sure if yours is exactly the same words, but
Yeah, it's similar.
if it's you doing it, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this on here. So this is where I start in the process with current clients. I just send them a text message, and I know sometimes it can feel like, well, I haven't reached out to them in a while. Maybe they'll think I'm, I don't know. I've felt weird about it, but the reality is they want to hear from you, so don't feel weird about it. The fact that you're reaching out is what's important. So this is where I start. And Megan and Michelle, this is what we do. Let me send this. Hold on one second.
We can't hear you, Michelle. You're muted.
I was just talking to Megan.
We're driving.
We're driving. She's driving. And
Johnny, do you have it pre-populated into your phone? The AR text in your
I
review
do.
text?
I do. I was just having to revise it because Tori sends it out and her name and stuff was in there.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
So I was revising it to when I used to do it before I had started having Tori do it. Okay.
Do it by. Okay, got you.
Yeah. So I just sent that. So that's the first step in the process. And just reaching out to people. And you can do a 6-month review. I mean, whatever, right? It doesn't have to be a year. Right. So that's the first step. And then I wait 48 hours for a response. So 2 full days. And then if I don't get a text back, then I make a phone call. So I'm going to put that in the chat as well. So you have like a working document you can copy and paste. I'd say, hey, touching base with you, Miguel, on the phone call. If he answers or doesn't answer, I was like, hey, I just sent you a text ran a review. Just following up with you. If you can get back to me as soon as you can. It's only take a few minutes. Hope you're doing well. Bye. Just be yourself, right? And then if you don't get anything back after that, that's fine. Just keep moving, right? You don't want to overthink it. But if you get a response back and they schedule it, like I was telling Jeff earlier, the thing that's been working for me is just seeing what type of plan they have and then checking to see if I did a green sheet, which is just a financial picture page of all their details, right? So a lot of the people I've wrote from leads, I did do one, but I didn't save it, right? I just saved the insurance application in the files. So almost all of them, I don't have a saved copy. That's what I tell them is I'm like, hey, Michelle, like, the purpose of this call is twofold. One's just to touch base with you, make sure you know that I'm here. And then two is just, to review what we set up for you, make sure there's not any other, different options available. We have like 40 companies, insurance companies change their products, make them better. And I just want to make sure there's not something else available to you. Should just take a few minutes. So that's how I started. Again, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. They're already your client. But make sure they know, like, my job is to make sure you have the best program, and life changes. It's now a year or two later. Your needs may have changed. If they haven't, we set it up great. That's cool. But I don't know until I ask you, really. So and then I tell them there's some things that I didn't cover or I didn't go over for your file, some things I missed that are important. So I want to go ahead and get that information from you so I can make sure that we're servicing well. And so I just go through the green sheet again. And I normally start with like, hey, we set you up with this policy, like a term, a whole life, an annuity, a Medicare plan, whatever, right? This is why we did that. Juanita, if it's a Medicare plan, I'm sure you did a good job in the beginning with Medicare, right? Because normally people don't change their plans. But at that point, I say, these are other things that I can serve you with. Life insurance, hospital plans, supplemental plans. And we also help people with their retirement. We have a management firm, wealth management team that helps us with that. So I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything, right? And I fill it out. And pretty much while I'm filling it out, they're going to start asking questions, right? Pretty much what happens every time. And I just go from there. So I'm really not, to be real with you, I really don't know all the details of every product. Like, I know the concepts, right? Tax-free retirement, term is for a period of time. Whole life is permanent, right? An annuity is guaranteed no loss. It's just a savings account with an insurance company. You share in the gains. Market goes down, you stay where you're at. Supplemental plans, it pays you a lump sum for cancer, heart attack, stroke, kidney disease. Regardless of the severity, you get paid. If you go in the hospital, you get paid. And that's really all you need to know, right? Because if there's not a need there, knowing the details don't really matter. So that's kind of my flow with it. Trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. If they say they're interested,
repeat that line, okay? How you said about that you just used right there about the different products.
the concept.
If you go in, it pays. Talking about indemnity.
Yeah. Like all you need to know is the concepts of how our products work. That's it.
Right.
Yes, we need to know the details. Does Megan know the details more than me? Yeah, way more. And that's why we're a team. But for you to help somebody, you just need to know the concepts.
Right. I just like that one line the way you
right. So
it.
I tell people, I'm like, look, terms for a period of time. It's full coverage. Whole life is your whole life. It earns some equity, cash value. Supplemental plans will pay you for cancer, heart attack, stroke, regardless of how severe it is. If you get diagnosed, it pays you, period. I just had a lady, she bought one for $300 a month because she didn't want to depend on her living benefits that could possibly pay a percentage. She was like, I want a guaranteed payout. I'm like, well, this is the way to do it. Right. So yeah. And then hospital plans, if you go in the hospital, it's going to pay you this much for this many days. Right. I mean, those are the basic concepts. Retirement, your money can go up, it can stay the same, or it can go down. If you can eliminate one of them, which one would it be? Well, I don't want it to go down. All right. We might have some products that can help you, but I don't know. You might be in the best spot. Let's just schedule a time to get a, stress test on where you're at. Are you cool with that? And then just book a time with Chris. That's really all you need to do, because Chris will take it from there. Again, the green sheet asks a lot of questions. Yeah.
Jonathan, you might want to just ask them if they know how to get online and schedule with BACM while they're with the customer.
Okay. I know I went over that a couple weeks ago. So does everybody know how to get there directly? Does anyone not know how to get to his calendar? Speak up. Everyone knows? All right, cool. Yeah, it's on the ARC under resources, and it says BACM. You just click it and go straight to his calendar. So everything's in the ARC. You can schedule IUL appointments with Gina as well. What else am I missing? Is this helpful so far? Yes. Like I'm thinking like Juanita, I'm sure a lot of your clients are just Medicare. Is that right?
Yes. The bulk of my customers are Medicare. Yeah.
So the bulk of your book is Medicare. Okay. So here's something that I would still do that text, obviously change it to Medicare agent. I don't know the rules with that though. Right. Can you text a Medicare client that, Michelle? Do you know? Or Juanita?
Once they're
You
your
can.
client, they're your client.
Yeah,
okay.
you can.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Sure.
can.
Okay. So when you're talking to them, if they book a time, I would just say, hey, I just want to do this review. These are other things I service people with. And I just, I do this full time. My heart's to serve you. So I just want to make sure I'm making aware of what is available, right? So I don't know if you have data that says if your clients have a life policy or not. If you don't, I mean, definitely ask them, like, are you, if I work with 40 different companies. So if you are paying for a life insurance policy or retirement, and I could save you money or fees, would you be interested? That's a good question, right? They're either going to say, yes, I'm interested, or no, I'm happy where I'm at. Or you can say, if they say, yes, I do have life insurance, you can say, well, do you know what type you're paying for? Because legally, I can't really recommend anything to you if I don't know what you're paying for. And I guarantee you, almost no one knows what they're paying for. Promise. Like my current clients don't even know what they're paying for. And they're like, you did such a good job when you came over 2 years ago. And then halfway through the conversation, they're like, well, we're paying for this, right? I'm like, no. I'm like, I must have not done that good of a job. They're like, no, we just don't pay attention. It happened like 3 times this week. Right?
Because they trusted you and they stopped paying attention.
Right. And it's not a bad thing, but I said, look, this is why I do these reviews. It's to remind you, like, dude, if I wasn't in the business, I would forget about certain things if someone didn't remind me. Right. So those are some good like lines you can like questions you can ask people. Like for example, the lady I wrote an annuity on, she was like swearing up and down, I have whole life at 62,000. And I was like, I trust you, Lynn. Like, I'm here to help you with your annuity. I was like, but we just need to confirm because I have to put this on your asset sheet. Like, I have to put how much cash value you have. It's a non-liquid asset. It's like, I believe you. I need, we need to verify it. What we call, it's a 20-year term that just increased in premium in November. Isn't that nuts? And she was like swearing it was whole life. Swearing, like, take it to the grave. I'm not kidding.
Every day.
That happens
And
so
so-
much.
Yeah.
That happens so much. Until you get people to get their paperwork out, he's
A
right.
third of the
John's
time they
right.
have nothing. A third of the time it's
Yeah.
term or accidental.
Yeah.
And occasionally, maybe like 1 out of 5, maybe 1 out of 10, it's better than what they thought. And I love telling them,
Mhm.
no, man, you don't have, this is universal. This is way better. And they'll be like all excited,
Yeah.
But they trust you.
So, yeah, exactly. And so it's not your heart does have to be in the right place, right? Like people can feel that. If you're genuinely trying to make sure they're in the best spot, they're going to feel that. You don't have to know that we have good products. I mean, you don't have to know the details of the good products we have. All you have to know is that we have some really great products because we do. Like I've literally been able to put people in a better spot by just reviewing what they have and making sure they understand what they're paying for. Most people don't. So another thing you can ask them too is like, or you can tell them like, hey, look, another reason I'm doing this is because like I don't expect to buy anything or spend money on anything that I don't understand. And I don't really expect you to do that either. I know we met a year ago. I know 2-3 years ago. I know you bought a Medicare policy from me and maybe you're paying for another life insurance plan that I didn't help you with. But I want to make sure you understand what you're paying for, because if we're both understanding of it, I might be able to do something better for you. Does that make sense? Because that's what I expect my brother to do for me if I was buying a chemical product from his company that he works for, right? I just want to understand and have a concept of what I'm paying for. 99% of people don't know.
Keyword
They
is
just don't.
concept, not all the details.
Yeah,
Keyword
you
is
don't. I mean, you
concept.
can find the details out when you call the insurance company. Just be like, look, just get your bank statement and tell me what company the name is. Well, and then Google the company and call them. I just say, hey, I've got a client. They reached out to just do a quick review of what they're paying for. I'm going to merge them in real quick. And so you can get their permission for us to go through a few questions. That's it. And tell the client, I'm going to get them on the phone. They're going to ask your permission. Is that okay with you? They're going to be like, yeah, it's fine. They don't want to do it. Otherwise, they would have already. Does that make sense? So
They don't know what
and
to
these are-
ask.
right.
And then there's a few questions that you're gonna ask. It's like
Right.
5 questions.
And if you've never done it, it's
Those
cool.
are-
Like
those-
if you've never done it, then us doing this training more will help you get better at it. But I mean, do it with your own insurance you're paying for. Call a company and be like, hey, I want to do a review with you of my life insurance. I'm paying, look at your bank statement. I'm paying this much. Can you tell me how much coverage I have? That's one question. If you're taking notes, say, can you just tell me how much coverage I have? Because it's in force, you're paying for it. I'll tell you how much coverage. Okay, cool. When was it issued? That's the second question. They'll tell you. And then I ask, is this a term policy or is this a whole life policy? If it's universal, they'll say it's universal. Okay, you just need to ask term or whole, and they'll tell you. I'll be like, okay. And if it's term, be like, is the price ever going to increase in the future? We know the answer to that question, right? Yeah, we do. Yep, it's going to go up. Okay, cool. And then the fifth question I ask is, can you just confirm the beneficiary? And those are the 5 questions I ask when I have someone on the phone, right? And I say, hey, do you have any other questions, Michelle? And they normally don't. That's the client. But if they do, that's fine. They can ask. You can have them sent out another policy, whatever. But then when you hang up with their company, now you have an opportunity to talk with the client and say, like, okay, so now we know exactly what you're paying for. Were you aware of that? Did you know that? And they're like, no, I didn't. Sometimes
I would
they
add
will.
one more is the amount of coverage ever going to go down? Because sometimes the price doesn't go up, but it'll be like, oh, when you turn 65, it goes down by 50%. You turn 70, it goes down by another 50%, you know?
Right. That's good. Yeah. So that's the concept of it. I hope this is helping. The green sheet has a lot of detailed stuff. But me telling people, hey, I can't legally recommend anything to you, unless I know what you're paying for. I don't get objections when I say that. Ever. I never get them, because what? It's the truth. If you read your insurance license, you technically, legally can't. Now, if someone says, I don't want you to, just give me a quote. Well, look, they asked you. But you technically can't legally recommend something if you don't know what they're paying for. You really can't. Why? Well, there's 2 reasons. One, they need to understand what they have, right? 2, if what they have is best for them, it's a waste of their time, and especially your time. You're a professional. So you know what I mean? Like, y'all need to move on if it's the best plan, which, in some cases it is. I've reviewed several policies past couple of months, and I'm like, look, this is a great plan. Don't cancel it. The lady that bought the $300 critical illness policy, she goes, should I cancel my $500,000 term with Transamerica or keep it? We reviewed it. I'm like, you need to keep it, Monica. It's really good. Like, you're paying $120 for $500,000, and you have it for 20 more years until you're 77. Like, keep it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, unless you don't think you need insurance, then cancel it. But we both know you need life insurance. She's like, oh, heck yeah. I'm like, yeah, keep it. And then she's like, well, all right, I don't want to use my living benefits, because I explained how those worked. It's just, it's an option if you get cancer, heart attack, stroke, to take a portion of it. But it's only going to be a percentage that the company decides based on how sick you are. That's why you don't really pay for it. It's just included. Does that make sense? That's easy to understand, right? It's just a benefit that's there. You're not paying any extra for this. Everything you're paying is paying for your cost of insurance. This living benefit is just something the insurance company has given to you as an option, right? So when you say that to people, they're like, well, is there an option for something that will pay me regardless, not like 100%? I'm like, yeah, a critical advantage policy. You can do cancer by itself, you can do heart attack and stroke by itself, or you can do all critical illness. You pick the amount. If you get diagnosed, they pay. As long as you didn't lie. Right? So it just creates opportunity when you're asking those questions, and you're just educating on concepts. Like, you're not educating on details, right? It's just a concept. A term policy gives you the most insurance for the least cost. That's why people buy term. I tell people that all the time. They're like, why do I even have this? I'm like, well, it's a good plan. You have it because it gives you the most insurance for the best cost. While you have young kids or a debt, right? So just asking questions and just talking to your clients is just going to give you opportunity to help them somewhere else. So it's pretty much, I mean, if y'all want to add anything, Megan or Michelle, but we just have great stuff that people may or may not need, but majority of them do need, and they're unaware of.
Hey, Jonathan, I was gonna mention for Juanita's sake, you know, a lot of your Medicare customers, Juanita, I would definitely lead in with a hospital indemnity plan. We have several different ones. Just because all the Medicare Advantage people do have out of pockets when they go to the hospital, and this is going to cover that. So
Okay.
I would look to a hospital indemnity plan with every single one of my Medicare Advantage customers. I mean, if they're not on Medicaid, let's put it that way. If
Okay.
they're paying out of pocket,
Yeah, they cannot be on Medicaid.
right?
Oh, okay.
It'll kick them
Okay.
out if they have a hospital plan if they're on Medicaid. So
Okay.
Don't put them on a hospital plan if they're on Medicaid. Yeah, she said it'll kick them out.
Okay.
They would not be happy. We don't want that.
No, but that's for sure.
I know
Thank
that
you.
you're a lot of steps.
Yeah, I wouldn't do the D steps with the no hospital plans for them, but just a health life insurance plan for them, you know, and referrals from, you know, it seems the more that I talk to people, the more they give me referrals. I don't know.
Do any of y'all have questions about what I went over? I know it was a lot of information. No questions? Dang. What'd you say? Sharon, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Does anyone use Rapid Funnel to send out their text, or do you use just your finger, just thumb it? You know,
I
what do you
would
do?
use an individual
Oh yeah,
text.
because it's got to be individual. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's cool.
For sure. Now you
Okay.
can you can copy the template and then just type in that person's name and
One at a
copy
time.
paste,
Yeah.
right? You don't have to
Yeah.
type it all out.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yep. Okay, that's all I was thinking of. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And
What-
thanks
what-
for all the amazing info.
You're welcome.
I was
Somebody
going
was
to
saying
ask.
something.
Oh, I was going to ask. What are some of the better to Michelle? What are some of the better or indemnity plans that she uses for Medicare people in this area?
Well, I have used the Medico hospital indemnity plan. It's very easy. It's easy to get approved. You do have to qualify. There's also some new hospital indemnity plans with Pan American Life. Have you done that contract or listened to that training?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
The Pan American
It
Life?
doesn't
Okay.
doesn't require a social. So if you've got illegal immigrants, you can actually write them. You can even do it on the phone, on the computer without them being there
Okay.
and get it all done. So it's that Pan American one is different, but I've been using the Medico hospital indemnity and critical illness with Medico and with Mutual of Omaha.
Oh, mutual. Okay.
Mutual doesn't have a hospital plan, but they have that critical illness plan.
Yeah, Mutual doesn't have a hospital plan. They have the cancer, hope, stroke, heart attack plan. And there is a height weight chart on that one. The Medico, there might be a height weight chart on the hospital indemnity plan. But I would just get on one of their, Great Western does a lot of good webinars weekly. And if you're contracted with them, you can get on one of their Medico webinars.
Okay.
I would lead with Americo for now until you, because it's a good product and it's priced well and it's easy to do.
Medico?
Medico or Americo? Medico.
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 For the
Medico.
hospital plan.
Sorry, Great Western is owned by Medico, and so I look up the same company. Sorry.
Okay.
So I didn't mean to confuse you. Sometimes when I go to my enroller, I can do the quotes for both. And then I can
Oh,
flip over to
really?
the,
Yes.
Okay.
yes, you can do the quotes for both in my enroller.
Once you're contracted with Medico, Juanita, if you're not already, it'll automatically show up in your My Enroller for you to choose whether or not you're quoting for Great Western, final expense, or Medico hospital plan.
Okay.
And we get the Medico one, you also get the cancer plan with them and the dental plan. You can quote all that on my enroller. And you can even email that to customers
Or voice authorization.
for
Okay.
signature, but you can email them quotes. And sometimes I'll email them quotes and call them the next day if they're a current client. They'll say, yeah, I want this plan or I want that plan. Gives them something to look at. And it's saved in your My Enroller, so you can go back and see what you did. And you can put them
Okay.
on follow lists on your calendar and make sure to follow up with them.
Okay. Good deal. Thank you.
Heck yeah. And you guys are already so freaking talented, man. Like our biggest obstacle this year is not gonna be figuring out how to like sell better, okay, or developing some skill. It's figuring out how to pull the potential that's already in us out. Period. I'm not kidding. Like when your mom told you that you could tie your shoe, you believing you could tie your shoe didn't tie your shoe. You had to bend over and take action to tie it for you to actually be able to tie your shoe, right? Even though she believed I could tie my shoe, didn't matter. I had to bend over and tie my shoe. And then I was like, I can tie my shoe, right? But I had to take action. Does that make sense? I mean, it's no different in this business. Like, it's uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable sometimes when I'm doing new stuff and working new leads, but I'm doing it because it's making me better, and then I can reach down and help you guys. So just don't be afraid to take the action a little bit. I know it feels a little bit weird. I do. But if your heart's in a good place to serve, you can't mess up. Like you can't. Yeah. So let's keep the conversation moving. Like Megan was saying, you know, the purpose of this call is to bring new people on. Like we don't want to just be this 10 people selling a ton of insurance. Like, do we want to get great at it? Yeah. And can we? For sure. And we do need to be good at sales, to have cash flow so we can support our business. But ultimately, we want to help the people that want to go help others, that want to have the freedom of having their own schedule, right? So that is the purpose of the call. Obviously, every week we'll evaluate like who's on and what you guys need out of it. But please feel free to like reach out. Like if you feel like you're confused about something or you do need help on something, like that's what we're here for. And I know I probably don't make enough personal phone calls. I do my best, but we're a team. Like we all have something to give to each other. So let's remember that, you know, and keep getting better and invite new people, bring them on. So we'll keep the train rolling week to week. So if you have something you want one of us to train on specifically, let us know. But again, the action part of it, you learn the most from doing it, from just getting out and running 10 annual reviews on your own and then calling and having a conversation about how it went and seeing if you missed something. I still do that. I'm like, Jonathan, you've been doing this for 7 years, dude. Why did you forget that? Well, guess what? I'm human. That's why we have a team. But you will get better if you do it that way. And we are going to try to reward people who are taking action as well. So, and you'll get rewarded too. Like you'll get a promotion when you do a certain amount of volume as well. So anyways, I digress. I'm done. If anybody else wants to add anything, speak up.
Anyone have any questions or comments? Anything you want to talk about before we head off?
I thought it was a good call.
Awesome. I can't hear you, Sharon. I can't hear you, Sharon.
I said it's an honor and a privilege to be on Team Alleman. I love you guys. That's it.
Oh.
Thank you.
Well, it's an honor and a privilege to have you on the team. It is not a team. We are not the team without you guys and without more people. I mean, we just aren't. I think that we have one of the strongest teams and some of the strongest leaders and strongest producers. We gotta give that freedom to other people. We gotta pay that forward. Yeah. But yeah, we're grateful for all you guys, and let's go out and kill it this week. If you need anything, like Jonathan said, please call. I really wish this telepathic thing worked and I could read people's brains, because if I could, we'd all be way further ahead, right? If you could, we'd all be way further ahead if we could just read people's minds. But when you think of something, you need something, just call. Just call. And
the biggest thing when I was brand new, just actually calling your mentor after you have an appointment that you didn't make the sale is just as good as calling when you did make the sale. Because that whole process of kind of trying to help you figure out where you could do better, what you could leave off, is so good. It's the learning process. So I just encourage you to still be a learner, no matter how expert you are in the business. Still be a learner in that respect.
all right. Well, we just got her back home. Jeff, you unmuted. Did you want to say anything?
Peace, everybody. Good call. Good info.
All right. Y'all have a wonderful evening. See you later.
Thank y'all
See you on
so
the
much.
call tomorrow.
Bye. See you tomorrow. Bye.